Okay, we've got this down now, and you may not have had a Sketch and Wash to use like I did, but I'm going to show you what the Sketch and Wash does when you wet it, and I'm actually going to put a little bit of paper underneath here so that it doesn't wet the rest of my sketchbook. But up here, and I'm using a round brush, which I don't do very often, but you can see what happens with the Sketch and Wash. It allows me to melt, basically, that graphite and spread it around. And this little round brush I'm using is just a Creative Mark Rhapsody Round Kolinsky Sable. I'm not even sure where I got it, but I like it. I'm going to do this too and let it be light mid-value. And here's this and this. You can see it's a lot of fun to just paint with waters. Remember those coloring books, and I think they still make them, where they have the dots of color that allow you to dissolve them and paint into that area? It's kind of like that. Except this is a pencil where you put down and decided what you wanted where. As I go along, I'm going into the darks first and getting them established as best I can, because you're going to pick up some of this on your brush and carry it over. So you want to be sure not to go into areas where you don't want it to be dark. I'm going to clean that brush out a little bit so that whenever you melt these, they're going to be lighter. So I've got dark values, I've got light values, I've got mid values going on here. And what I can do then is when I paint, I can put away, this area was sort of undefined in my background, and it's going to end up being pink, so I'll choose those colors, obviously, when I get there. And there's that. And then there were some shadows in this flower, so I want to make sure that I understand where those are whenever I get ready to paint. And the brightest spot is really right there. Now, do I have to use this as my reference? I can do 5, 10 preliminary drawings before I paint if I want to. And sometimes the fun is in doing the preliminary drawings. And sometimes the preliminary drawing never becomes a painting. Something doesn't click. You see that it just isn't working the way you want it to, or you're not able to get it to have the composition that you really see in your mind. Why is that important? Well, if the composition isn't going to work on this preliminary, then when you get to the painting, you're going to be struggling to try to get it to work. It's just all there is to it. And if anything, I think the painting process should be enjoyable. I think it should have some fun. And if you're struggling, you're not going to be having any fun. You should find some joy in the process. You might have, some people have the watercolor pens. You can buy, there's a number, oh my goodness, there's so many different varieties of pens and markers available, but you can buy the ones that are all in grayscale, which are kind of cool. So you've already, you can pick up one that's 80, 90% dark, up to 100% dark, and then a mid value, and then a light, or just leave white for your paper as your light. But you can see, I'm going back to my Sketch and Wash, and this is damp paper, but I'm able to come back in and pick out some more pattern of what's going on back there. My subject is still pretty much in the center here, and I may end up having to go here and darken this a little bit more and send it back into the background a little bit more so that this now comes out where I want it to. But that's the beauty of this. I'm not committed to a painting piece of paper that I've spent a good amount of money on. I made my commitments, and then once I hit my paper, when I go to do my painting, I'm going to be able to do it with confidence, knowing that where I've decided my darks, my darkest darks, and my lightest lights are going to tell the story that I want told. So go to it.